Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a live from the couch watch party with myself, Zod Ryder, and Mads MamaBear. Thank you so much for joining me for this, Mads MamaBear. When we were talking about it, when I had you on Q&A and we were talking about doing this, I wasn't quite sure if we were going to actually, be able to find a date so soon to do it, but I'm super excited because I do love this movie, and I'm just happy to be watching it with a good friend and to be able to watch this in preparation for the new Beverly Hills Cop Axel F movie that's coming out on July the 3rd.
I know.
On Netflix, and we'll be able to watch it. And I'm so excited. I watched the most recent trailer for it. I'm super hyped. I can't wait.
I mean, I shared this, of course, in my community tabs, and I know you saw it. I shared it on Facebook. Someone in my community, the person responded in my community tab, said, "Can you believe it's been 40 years?" I'm like, no. Don't give us numbers like that. That hurts.
Yeah. I don't know. I just remember watching this movie, as a kid, and the first time I ever saw it, and I watched it with a bunch of my friends, and it was an instant classic.
Oh. Just about anything Eddie Murphy put out at that point became like automatically a classic. I'm trying to think, because I'm thinking the wrong movie now. Because there was another one with I think it was Nick Nolte that he did as well. Hey, Bat Dan. I mean,
you're talking about the 40. You're talking about the 48 hours movie. 48 hours.
Yeah, 48 hours.
And then he did another 48 hours. Yeah.
Anything he did at that point. I mean, everyone knows Coming to America. It was just an automatic, classic form.
Oh yeah, you remember The Golden Child?
Yeah.
Trading Places. I mean, I even remember a movie he did with Dudley Moore called Best Defense, which was pretty funny. And everything, pretty much everything that he did. Yeah. And I mean, and his stand-up comedy routines too,
And the fact he's considered the respectable family man at this point in time versus who everyone thought was going to be the family man all these years later.
Exactly. And you know what's even funnier about that too? It's just the irony that's why people are kind of worried about this movie, this movie, because they don't know if he still has it, if he'll be able to play that character after all this time, But I think he will, because he's an actor and he can go back to it, and he'll be able to have fun with it and go back to it. And people evolve over time too. So it's not like Axel Foley has to stay the same character. Like he can have changes and evolution like everybody else in life, but at the same time he has to still be the same core character that we know and love in order for it to work. And I think he's going to be able to pull that off. I mean, because based off of the trailer that I saw for the new movie, it looks that way. It looks like he's coming back and he's that character. I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about it? Do you think he's going to be able to just come in and do it?
I feel pretty confident about it. I mean, he did pretty good with Coming to America too. Keeping the core of that character as well. So we do.
Yeah, that was kind of with it. That wasn't well received though. That's the thing with that one. I don't know why people
a lot of things nowadays aren't well received, and I get why some of the controversy behind it, because in Coming to America he was so dedicated to this one girl, to have the thought that there would be another kid out there, at that point in time in America is a little, that doesn't go with the original story.
Right. It was a plot device designed to create a reason for a sequel, because to me that movie didn't need a sequel coming to
No,
America.
it didn't.
Beverly Hills Cop definitely lends itself to some more stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so does 48 Hours. I actually would not have been opposed to seeing yet a third 48 Hours movie, but Nick Nolte is
I loved those movies.
older than dirt now. There's no way they'd have to wheel him out. They'd have to wheel him out for the for the scene. I don't know how they could pull something like that off now if they were going to do that. I think the ship has sailed for that one,
yeah.
for a third one on that. And plus, we never got the original vision for the sequel to 48 Hours. Another 48 Hours was a lot longer. The original movie for that was a lot longer and deeper than what got released. A lot of back and forth between Walter Hill and the studio over that movie. So again, studio meddling and studio interference. The movie could have been something special rather than just a mediocre sequel. But yeah, that's just the way it goes. As we know, when it comes to studios, they're not always about creativity. So let's see. The Avengers Rising. I want to address and answer your question, because I know you've been popping up a lot here. Saturdays aren't really good for me when it comes to streams. I don't know if I'll be available tomorrow at that time, but if I am, I will be sure to look into it and see what you guys are discussing. But I can't guarantee that, because Saturdays tend to be busy for me. So but thank you for letting me know and informing me about it, and basically inviting me to come. I appreciate it. If I can make it, I will. I hope that answers your question. Let's see here. Got a $5 super chat from A Curly Ray. What's up, Curly Ray? Good to see you, man. Hey, Zada and Mama Bear, I hope y'all are having a wonderful night. I'm currently at a convention showing the Rebel Moon engagement. That's awesome. That is awesome that you are at a convention, man. I hope you have a great time. It's always awesome the way, you dress up and you show that spirit and that engagement and that enthusiasm for Rebel Moon. That's great. That's awesome.
He shared his cosplay with the gang, and it's gorgeous. He is dressing up as Jimmy, and it looks fantastic.
I know, isn't he awesome? He sent me
the energy alone that he has is
right, and you sent me all these things, these pictures of you full. I mean, he's really dedicated. I love it. I love it, and I'm so excited. Thank you again, A Curly Ray, for your super chat. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time at the convention. That's awesome. I remember when I used to go to conventions. I mean, it's a lot of fun. A lot of
conventions I've been to, I was working them.
Oh yeah, you were working them.
There's safety in a booth. I don't like crowds.
I was gonna say, were you dressed up at all?
For some of them, yeah, I was doing palm reading for some of them.
That's awesome that you do.
You wouldn't even believe some of the convention type things I've done palm reading at. It's.
Now you've done palm reading at a strip club.
In a strip club, no.
Oh, okay.
Conventions.
Well, I was gonna say, I because if you said that at a strip club, it's not that it's I actually, if you would have said yeah, I totally would have believed you. I'd have been like, wow, okay.
There was a convention along those lines, but it wasn't an actual club.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we know there's a convention. What's up, Bat Dance? Thought your first time watching Beverly Hills Cop. Well, thank you for joining us. That's awesome. And if you have Paramount Plus, it is on Paramount Plus for free for you to watch. If you have Paramount Plus, it's also on various other platforms, and you can rent it as well. I'm going to be watching it off of Paramount Plus. I think MamaBear, you said you're going to be watching it off of Flickster.
Yeah.
That's still a thing. Flickster still exists. Is it? Oh,
It's one of those. The site changes every now and then, but the price is right for me.
okay, cool. Well,
even better, it's on Netflix. Man, if we had known that, we could have gotten Sky in on this.
it's on Netflix. Is it?
Awesome.
Hold on. I mean, maybe I'll switch the platform I was going to watch it on, because I was going to watch it on
even better.
Paramount Plus, but if it's on Netflix,
let's give Netflix the.
Yeah, it is on Netflix. Okay. Oh wait, it says it is on Netflix, but it's also leaving soon. So I'm going to switch the platform that I'm watching it on. I was going to watch it on Paramount Plus, but because it is on Netflix, and we like to engage with Netflix on our channels for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
we'll watch it on Netflix. I mean, that way everybody can be on the same page here, because most everybody that's in these chats has Netflix. So yeah, it's definitely on Netflix. So we'll watch it on Netflix. At least I will. Let's see. Sin Havoc. As always, I'm glad that you're here. You gotta love Sin Havoc. Sin Havoc shows up to all the shows no matter what. I've never, again, talk about somebody that is devoted. I love it. I love it. I love seeing that. We've got my good friend Keo Dykin in the chat. What's up, man? Let's see. What's up, everyone? What are your thoughts on Warner Brothers wanting to shut down Rock Steady Game Studios? I actually hadn't heard about them wanting to shut that down. That's kind of news to me, but
yes,
I guess I'll have to look into it further, because I didn't know anything about that. But it wouldn't surprise me, because Warner Brothers is, as you just pointed out,
was Rocksteady making the music, making the money?
If they're not, well, even if they are, I don't know. I wonder why. With Warner Brothers, I always wonder what it's about. Is it even about money? What is it about?
Clearly not.
I mean, let's see. What Zod Rider studios are always about creativity, especially the studios Zack Snyder worked for with DC movies. Oh, yeah. And let's not forget, right? Zack Snyder is coming back to Warner Brothers, right, guys, to work on a 300 prequel. That's what some outlets are saying, right? I mean, if you believe that, well, I mean, if you don't get my sarcasm, I do not subscribe to that theory at all. I do not think that's happening.
I've said it for years when it comes to just about anything that comes out reporting about WB or Zack Snyder or any combination thereof. Hell, even sometimes with Marvel stuff. If it doesn't come directly from the source, I'm not buying it. If it's not something like in this case, if it's not a statement come out from Warner Brothers, I do not believe it.
Yeah, I'm with you. If it's not an official statement, and especially if it has to do with Zack, I gotta literally hear it from Zack to believe it too, you know, or see a trailer, because it's very easy for any of these outlets to just come out with articles saying things happen, and it doesn't surprised me that Warner Brothers stock went up a little bit after that 300 announcement. And really, that article, all it said was that Zack was in talks with Warner Brothers for this. It didn't confirm it. It didn't say it was absolutely happening. All it said was there were talks. Well, me and Mads MamaBear are having talks right now. What does talking have to mean? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't confirm anything, right?
Yeah.
So you got to take that. You got to take those kind of articles with a grain of salt. And I know there are some content creators out there that have decided to take that story and run with it like it's gospel. But need I remind you that it was, Variety and I think the Hollywood Reporter that have put out erroneous articles about Zach in the past and have literally put words in his mouth and have, made up stuff to make people think that he didn't want to do any DC material anymore or whatever. So
yeah, what wasn't Variety the same one that put out about Momoa supposedly starring in Frosty the Snowman right about the same time that Ray Fisher was, spilling the tea?
Yeah, you're right. I remember that. And then Jason Momoa had to come out and debunk that himself. Although I think, when it comes to Jason Momoa, I think he would have did that Frosty the Snowman movie if it was actually true, but it wasn't true.
It would have been interesting to see.
A Curly Ray thinks that Batman should cosplay as a Rebel Moon character. Yeah, it's definitely on Netflix, so that's what we're gonna do. The price is the price. I have Paramount Plus, but the app is glitchy. Yeah, it is kind of glitchy. Sell, shout out to Zodrider MamaBear, and shout out to the cool table. Yes, definitely. We got the cool table. I
can't say it like they do.
Yeah, well, I kind of, I kind of started that when I put out my bootleg Darby rap song, and I had him say in a very Ice Cube like voice, shout out to the cool table. And then when Good Austin did it, when he did his rap that he did on Freezing Cold Takes, or I think it was on Sky's thing. That was really, any of you guys in the chat, if you guys want to join us on the panel to watch this movie, I guess I could share the link. You are welcome to join if you wish to. We're gonna start the movie momentarily.
Yeah.
They're blaming the release of the Suicide Kills the Justice League. Yeah, that game did not make them a lot of money.
No,
in fact, they were giving refunds to a lot of people for that game.
Yeah, I actually sent that to Maki that they were doing that because he was pissed about that game.
That game should have been one of those, you know how MamaBear, they have those games free to play.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that game should have been, free to play. And they could have just had because it's online. It was an online game anyway. So I don't understand why it wasn't free to play. They could have avoided a lot of their controversy if it was a free to play game, because nobody would have cared. Yeah. Well, according to some people, Bat Dan, in talks basically means done deal, right?
Yeah.
Zach still has an IP to complete over at Netflix. Rebel Moon 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Oh wait, yeah, I agree. I think those movies are inevitable. Because they're doing very, very well for Netflix. At the moment, this sounds like a distribution deal. Well, thank you, Sin Havoc, for pointing that out, because, yeah, if WB wants their stocks up, hype up their DC brand by selling ZSJL 2 and 3 to the home of Zack Snyder. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay, Vet Dan says, I'll be engaging in the chat. Long week of work, exhausted. Okay, Bat Dan, no problem. Did you read the article from Bloomberg? Very telling. Nelson Havoc. I did not read the article from Bloomberg. Did you read the article from Bloomberg, Mads MamaBear?
First I heard about it. I will check it out later. This, I assume that's the Rocksteady one, or?
I don't know. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Bat Dan says, I don't care what Rocksteady says. That game ain't Arkhamverse canon. Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Zach has another IP to create, the ZSJL IP. Well, the ZSJL IP is its own IP, and Sin Havoc can back me up on this. Don't forget Man of Steel 2, and we want it in live action with Brainiac as the villain in it too. Oh yeah, we definitely need to get Brainiac in the.
When we get there, if whatever Zach decides, if he still wants to do Brainiac, I'm all for it. If he decides he wants to go in a completely different direction, like say, I don't know, or maybe finish up his, dark side. As long as he finishes up the dark side, I'll be happy personally.
Yeah, we all need more dark side in our lives. I mean, come on.
I mean, Ray Porter made Thanos look like a California raisin. Thanos
is a California raisin, though. You know that Thanos is just a half-wit copy of Darkseid. He's just a half-baked Darkseid. That's all he is. Because Marvel wanted their own Jack Kirby-esque character. That's why he exists. That's it.
Well, DC and Marvel had been doing that, for decades, where they take inspiration from each other's characters. But when you have the two of them on the big screen side by side, and they'd been building Thanos up so much, we had 5 minutes maybe of Darkseid. He was terrifying compared to Thanos.
Oh my God, yeah. Like we're talking like Darth Vader levels of terrifying Darkseid. I would not want to be in a room with Darkseid. I'd be freaking out. Like there would be, my clothes would be soiled if I was in a room with Darkseid. That's how scared I would be. He's not somebody to mess with. Oh my goodness. Let's see. My prediction: we will get the solo Man of Steel sequels after Superman 2025 bombs. I mean, it's almost like Warner Brothers kind of has the Snyderverse in their back pocket because they know that James Gunn's experiment is going to be a disaster. It's going to be about as big of a disaster as the Alkalite for Disney Plus, and they know it's going to be a disaster, so they're just bracing themselves for it. Speaking of the Alkalite, I couldn't get through it all. I watched like the first maybe 15 minutes of the first episode. I kind of checked out after they killed off spoiler alert, after they killed off Carrie-Anne Moss in the very beginning. I was just like, how do you get somebody as great as Carrie-Anne Moss for your show and kill her off within the first 5 minutes of your how do you do that? How does that make any sense? Someone like Carrie-Anne Moss actually brings credibility to your little bootleg Star Wars show, and you're going to turn around and kill like the best thing right off the bat, kill her right off the show. I don't know. Lightsaber blades don't kill you. They don't do anything. You can get impaled with a lightsaber and survive, but little darts, those are lethal in the Star Wars world, right?
I have heard that. I checked out a Star Wars years ago. And
you were right for doing so.
well, honestly, it was
Is it
because of the fans. I was a casual Star Wars, fan at, for the longest time, even sitting through that whole thing with the Phantom Menace.
mm,
But it was after I had parted ways from the Phantom Menace and I came across like a diehard Star Wars fanboy, and the magic words were of Grey Jedi were issued in his airspace, and he lost it. I mean, terrifyingly lost it. The man was triggered.
wow.
Yeah. It's like, misgendering a Gen Z. It was bad. It was bad. I it was ever since then I've been checked out of the Star Wars universe. But I did hear about ranting about the lightsabers, because as much as I try, you can't avoid it.
Yeah. The lightsabers. There's no excuse. I mean, come on. They're lethal weapons. I mean, okay. Speaking of Brainiac, it's also why I came to you tonight for help, Zod Rider. And yes, even Zach himself wants a Brainiac movie too. And yeah, Mama Bear Art Doll, Mads Mama Bear Art Doll. Dark Side is the real deal. Thanos is for kids. Absolutely. Let's see. Marvel didn't even try to hide Deadpool being a Deathstroke ripoff. Let's see. Warner Brothers. Let's see here. Just want to get caught up on the
Oh yeah.
chat here. Okay, lightsabers were never deadly, according to George Lucas. Qui-Gon just had a special allergy to lightsabers.
Apparently
Oh
so did
God!
Darth Maul. I mean,
Yeah, apparently so.
mind you,
Okay.
that might be specific to his race. That if he comes in contact with lightsabers, that it's like a 50% off deal.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know how there's all these YouTubers that are always offering special deals on lightsabers from like
Yeah.
various companies. You know what's so funny about that too? It's like how many companies put out these lightsabers? It's ridiculous. Seeing I've never seen so many. Like I get it. I get that you want to have a piece of Star Wars memorabilia, but it's not like you can actually get the lightsaber at home and it's an actual lightsaber blade that lights up, and it doesn't, it's not, they're all the same, physics wise. They're all the same. They're all just a light, basically a light bulb in a little cylinder. They're not really anything all that special. And yeah, they have sounds, and they have some of them have authentic looking hilts and whatever, but at the end of the day, it's all just, I don't know. Like to me, I just feel like it's a little bit overkill. Like, get 50% off when you subscribe to Blue Sabers, and you can, it's like, I don't, who are these things for? Like, I just don't get it. I mean, yeah. Let's see. Bat Dance thought that's because Disney was too soft on people like Reva because who she is in the show and the real world. When I found out what the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie trilogy was supposed to be, I actually got really, really mad about the Obi-Wan TV show, because they cut out so much of what that trilogy. There was going to be a trilogy of films, and it was going to be so deep and awesome. There's a whole thing on YouTube about it, and it is, and I mean, what we didn't get is just ridiculous. What we were supposed to get. Product placement and access. Read the Kenobi book, okay, and canonize the Patterson cut. Yeah, the Patterson cut is definitely a better way to watch that. Okay, so what I want you guys to do now is kind of get ready to queue up your Beverly Hills Cop on Netflix, and we'll get started. Do you have yours queued up, Mama Bear?
Yeah. Just give me 1 second. I'll be good.
Okay. we'll let Mama Bear do the honors and tell us when to press play, because this way everybody
My thing is
get your. I gotta do it. Okay.
Do anything. Turn. Let's try that. You guys can start up. There we go.
Okay, pressing play now. You should be on the old Paramount Pictures logo.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, the old Paramount Pictures here. I love how this movie starts out, like so.
All right.
With the Glenn Fry music. Okay, here we go. There we are. What's up, bad guy Mike Worley? Good to see you here in the chat. Thank you for joining us. What's up? What's up, Adega Outlaw? Always good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, Dega.
I remember getting the VHS tape as a kid for my birthday, bad guy Mike Worley, and I wore that tape out. God, the movie looks very, very good. Like I'm talking about like vibrant like colors and stuff. It looks really, this is a really good transfer
Right.
for streaming. Wow. I think last time I watched it, I had it on I have it on my Vudu account and I watched it. And it, oh God, this, I love that big cigarette truck.
Funny about that.
Eddie Murphy is one of the guys that doesn't age. He looked the same for probably the last 30 years. Yeah.
Honestly, that's a movie that they should totally do at some point. Just I don't care what the concept behind the movie is. Just give me a movie with Eddie Murphy and Ernie Hudson.
Oh yeah, like a buddy cop movie.
You know, a buddy cop of We Never Age.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it before they get too old.
Ernie Hudson is like, God, 74.
Yeah.
He's older than that. I don't want to think about it. Because, sir.
See, this was movies in the 80s where they actually played songs during awesome chase scenes.
I know, right?
It's also this movie also has a fantastic soundtrack, by the way.
Yeah. That's another thing, you know. A lot of the times it was fantastic soundtracks that you just iconic songs.
All right, Geek Defense Initiative.
Yeah, let's leave that talk out for now. Focus in on something else. Thank you. Zod, what's the
Yes.
background? Private chat, honey.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Now look at how young Paul Reiser was back then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, Zod.
Yeah.
Private chat lover.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be joined by an additional person.
Yep.
I guess. Let's see here. What's up, man?
Hi, sorry, I didn't
Hey.
realize I was watching the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all watching the movie.
So, oh, of course, the police captain screams.
Hmm. I always like the I always like the police captain.
He's like he sounds like every single police captain stereotype from the 80s in a person, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably the joke. I mean, he actually, now that I think about it, he's kind of too skinny for stereotypical 80s police captain, but otherwise he's really good.
Yeah. He's skinny. He's skinny for sure.
For the police captains, generally they have much more good. Than me. Used to watch this movie a lot as a kid.
Oh, okay. Off camera for a minute. Everything just suddenly went swirly.
Hey, since we are talking 80s, one day we need to do To Live and Die in LA. It's actually all on YouTube.
Oh, okay. It is?
It is.
I don't know. I'm that's another movie I'm considering maybe doing a watch party at some point.
Yeah. Just pointing that out. 80s cop movies, all that stuff.
Yeah.
More of a 70s guy, though. Except my advice. My advice is amazing. Because I prefer grittier cop dramas. Oh.
I don't know what it is about this character, but he always I always found this character to be extremely likable and sympathetic. Like we don't learn a whole lot about him, but I always, Axel's friend here, Mikey.
It's kind of the idea, right?
Yeah, very likable character.
Yeah, but again, you need to understand why he's doing it, right? Because Axel's gonna do some stuff that is not exactly legal, so
Right.
it's like morally ambiguous stuff. So you need to understand why he's doing it. So they give this really sympathetic character so they can have a motivation
Yep.
inside his mind.
Yep.
They do a really good job at it, I think. Haven't watched the movie in years though. And I think they should have set more books on 80s Detroit, more movies. No more.
I want pictures, Batman. Lots of pictures. If you're talking about what I'm thinking of. Thank you.
Wait a second.
That dude is like a stereotypical villain. He's been in every single. He's always been in all these cop movies, all these like.
Yeah, it's worth thinking. You know who this guy is?
Yep.
Mike
Played
from
Mikey
Better
in
Call
Breaking
Saul
Bad.
and Breaking. Yeah, that one. He also played Jim Gordon
Yep,
in Arkham Knight.
he was a young man there with a receding hairline.
Honestly, I like him
And
better
now
bald.
he's an old.
Yeah, I
And
do
now he's an
too.
old man with no hairline.
Yes.
You know what? Some guys can really pull off the bald look. He's definitely one of them.
Yeah, just leave him there in a heap. It's okay.
Yeah.
Just leave the body right there.
Bavarian Fire Drill. I just realized it. The guy's kind of dirty cop when you stop thinking about it.
For the movie, I'm at almost 24 minutes. Where are you at, Mama Bear?
Yeah, 25 actually. Just
Okay.
right there.
Okay.
I
Sorry,
am the
jumped a little
part
ahead,
with
apparently.
I am part the art gallery.
Yeah,
Yep.
he just got to the art gallery. Yeah.
And the music's just fading.
Hmm.
Yeah, with Cousin Balky.
Mhm.
Perfect Strangers. Remember that show?
Yes.
Doesn't the statue behind him look a little bit like Pee Wee Herman?
A little bit. That's the reason I don't like going into wax museums. I'm convinced they're going to do that.
Yep, they're gonna come alive. There's been
Oof.
enough There's been enough movies.
Oh, I had an older sibling that would prank that shit. So
Oh wow.
all sorts of things she used to prank me with, and yeah, no. Okay.
That's the best. Better than Uber Eats.
Okay, now I know where you are. Let me back up just a bit.
Yeah, he's just about to deliver the food. Okay, he's delivering the food now.
Yeah.
I'm at I'm just about to hit the 40-minute mark.
Yep.
Take these bananas.
I think you had the spelling right the first time back down. Hey, integrity.
There he is. It's inevitable.
Yes, it is.
We are just over 42 minutes for those that are just tuning in. Yep. Well, considering that Netflix is are the ones responsible for the upcoming sequel, Netflix should have this movie on their platform. Should have all of them on their platform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should. That down.
Well, I'm on the couch chilling, watching a great movie, hanging out with good people. So yeah, I'm relaxed.
Yeah. See if I can get that to work again.
Awesome. Welcome back to video.
I'm glad you can see me because it's not catching up on my end. I was wondering. I was say it hasn't caught up on my end, so sorry.
Well, almost. Well, what happened when you got relaxed integrity? What are we talking about here? Did something occur that shouldn't have?
I'm a little curious myself now.
I know. It's like,
You and I've heard and seen a whole bunch of stories, so
oh yeah,
I could
absolutely.
tell them. I mean, did you fall asleep? Did you?
I've fallen asleep on a stream before.
I have too.
It's just one of those things that'll happen every
Oh,
now
yeah.
and then. Oh, this is great.
No.
The struggle is real. Mm. The perfect place. Yes, definitely conservative.
Define emergency.
It's definitely June.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of superheroes, Hmm. It was working. It definitely was working.
Yeah, it was.
Mm. I love how these cops are just like so like straight down the middle, like no humor whatsoever. Perfect.
Mhm.
No personality. Doesn't Victor Maitland kind of remind you of Mr. Burns from The Simpsons? He's like a real life, like he looks like what Mr. Burns would look like if he was a real person.
Oh my god.
No, A Pass is unable to stream currently. That's why we haven't done any shows. She has a very busy schedule right now, so no, it's cool. Integrity. I get a lot. I get a lot of questions about that. It's just there's not too much to tell. It's just that she's very busy now with work and other commitments and can't stream. So that's why there hasn't been any new shows.
I don't think either of them are in this movie.
Wow. Seriously, now because I said it, whenever I look at him, I see Mr. Burns now. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, it's like that KFC logo.
Yeah.
Can't unsee that either.
He'd make a good vampire too.
Vic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Banana.
Banana. Mm-hmm. It's a good way to sum it up.
Mm-hmm. Yes. More Balky.
With the lemon twist.
I feel like this movie has a different sound mix than I remember too. Some of the dialogue is feels like the delivery is a little different from what I remember, but it's so
I'm not sure.
it's all so iconic. Probably just because the sound mix is better than it was.
It's possible.
It's definitely a nice transfer.
Bad Dan, if he had handcuffs on him, I'm sure he'd be using them for something else with her.
What is that something else?
I'm just
I mean, furry cuffs.
I'm just saying she was sprawled on his hotel room bed and they automatically went right out.
Right. Like a James Bond villain.
Yep. Huh. I don't know what you're talking about, Bat Dan.
This trap door.
Loving the subtle German accent with him.
Yeah, it's so great. Such a such a polite villain. You would think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Qatar, what's going on? What's up, Skywalker?
Hi, Sky.
Yeah, this is actually a Netflix engagement event.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could literally say release the hounds and it would have worked in that situation.
Release the hounds.
Mm.
He's almost got that "Hello, Mr. Bond" voice.
Yeah, he would totally have made like a great Bond villain.
Oh my god, yeah.
For anybody who wants to know, we are approaching the last 10 minutes. Looks like about the last 10 minutes of the film.
Ish, yeah. 10:15. Which means we'll be able to slide over to Sky afterwards.
I could have, I just, but I'm not going to.
No, I think he's got a live stream tonight, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But when you said you were going to slide over to Sky afterwards,
Well, I didn't mean like, Axel Foley and the girl did.
right.
There is a bit of a distance issue there.
Yeah, we'll be there for night shift, Skywalker. This is about to wrap up, so for sure.
No, you guys can't clip that. So I'm sure you will.
Yeah, everybody. The sliding references. A lot of sliding going on.
Yeah.
Hmm. God, I love the search for the wrench. That's so funny.
I know, right?
Night Shift is on is a show that Sky does. It'll be on his channel.
Yeah. Each of us has our own shows. So.
And Sin Havoc says the wrench is still not found.
Yeah.
Here's the link, everybody, to head over to Night Shift after the movie. I'll take Necron's wrench on my channel just so I can give him another one.
This guy joked about doing the same thing. Poor Necron's like, I'm losing them left, right, and center. Nice. What'd you have? Tepsilog?
At least he didn't say brunch.
Hey, man. Brunch is fun.
It must have been so satisfying when he shot him. So
Right.
satisfying. Like, you know what? That guy. Because after all, that was the guy that killed Mikey. Oh. And the search for Necron's wrench continues. Yeah, I think Joss Whedon ruined brunch for everybody. No brunch. No brunch and missing a wrench. Oh boy. He's like, even like his calmness. Oh. Yes. He's just an old man. He's a grizzled old man, but he's a great character.
Bubba.
Mm. Well,
Right. Gotta be careful with those boys in California.
yeah, like that couple that we saw earlier in the film in the red wearing the red jackets.
I know.
That was hilarious. I mean, they were like,
Those Michael Jackson jackets, man.
yeah. right.
Mm-hmm.
Are you watching the credits or are we good?
Nah.
Okay. Yeah,
See if I can get this to work now.
I
I'm not
love
watching the movie.
I love this this movie so much. Thank you so much for being here with me on this panel for us to watch this movie together.
Oh, happily.
You know what? I'm not a big fan of Beverly Hills Cop 3, but I would like to at least do another watch party for part 2 because I think part 2 is a really good sequel. So
I don't think I've seen 3.
Oh, really? Well, I mean, what the hell? I mean, if you want to, we can do all 3 of them because
We could definitely figure it out. When does the movie come out?
because the next movie comes out in a month, right? It'll they come out. I think it's June. I think it's July 3rd. July 3rd. So it's a little bit,
Less than a month.
it's a little bit under a month. So we can I'm sure we can get Beverly Hills Cop 2 and 3 in before then. For sure. Oh yeah, it is a good movie. It's a great movie. It's a classic, and I don't know. I happen to feel like Beverly Hills Cop 2 is a very, very worthy sequel. So
Mm-hmm.
I was a big fan of it. I didn't really care much for the third one, but I'm hoping that the fourth one that comes out on Netflix is going to basically redeem the franchise and be closer to the first two, because the first two are my favorites. So
I'd rephrase that, Avengers.
Yeah. So we've got Night Shift coming up on Sky's channel in about 15 minutes. So if you guys are gonna head over there to wrap up the Friday, me and Mama Bear will wrap things up over here, and then we will see you guys in the chat for Night Shift. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for this. This was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing part 2. Bad Dan, I love that this was your first time watching this movie. I don't know. Maybe you could join us on the panel for part 2 when we do part 2.
Honestly, I think I liked part 2 better. To be
Really?
honest,
You know what? I go back and forth on that because I love part 1 so much, but then part 2 has so many great moments as well, and it's just kind of hard to. But I feel what you're talking about. So yeah, and I'm sure we'll cover that when we get to part 2, because there's a lot of greatness in part 2. So let's see, we got so Batman's already agreed, so he'll come. Cool, you'll come for that one. I will let you guys know the date. I will work it out with Mama Bear behind the scenes, and then I'll let you know too, Batman, because I think it would be cool to have you on the panel for part 2. But thank you everybody who joined. Shout out to Dennis, who joined us earlier. I guess he had some internet issues or something, and then he had to get offline or whatever, but he joined us briefly early in the movie. We were probably about, I want to say about 20-30 minutes in when he came. But Sin Havoc, I agree. But I guess I'll see most of you guys over at Night Shift, and so we'll be over there. And other than that, have a good night, everybody.
Night.